Hi there, Kevin Roman, and I want to welcome you back to the Backyard Barbecue and Golf Learning Center. Obviously, during this quarantine, we got to have ways to improve without being to the golf course. So I'm going to give you a second installment. Going to give you a couple ways to visualize it, but we're going to talk about short game. And what I've done here is I've made a little cutout, kind of an airplane, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then like a little arrow here, or another piece of tape or cardboard right across the face. These are just cardboard cutouts. And let's talk about this piece of the cardboard on the club face right now. Okay? So take any piece of cardboard and get it, and I just taped it to the face. I mean, I don't care how you do it. And you're going to come over to your golf setup for chipping and pitching. Too many people in chipping and pitching are back in here, and you can see if I had this airplane, the front of the airplane points way behind the ball. I want the airplane to feel like it's straight up and down, going straight into the ground. I don't want to come into the ground at an angle. Okay, so I want that straight up and down. You don't need to obviously draw an airplane, but you can make a little cross and just some cardboard to get the feel. And I just taped it on or Velcroed it onto the back. So in a setup for pitching, I want the ball in the middle or slightly forward. I don't want it like this because I don't want the leading edge to dig and give me chunk shots. So let's get the club vertical. My airplane pointing straight down to the ground. My club face is square. Okay, if you started with it open or closed, you'd see that'd be in the wrong place. So this is a good little visual to help set up. So what do I want you to do? Well, I want you to set up, and I'm big into now using like tennis balls or something bigger, or even just hitting tees. A lot of times we improve faster hitting those objects because we're so worried about the result of the golf ball we don't get anywhere. So hit tees, hit leaves until you get comfortable you're doing it right so you don't worry about the result. Tennis ball, we don't care. We don't have any expectations. So what are we going to do? We're going to set up. Like I said, my airplane is straight up and down, not leaning there. Okay, and as I swing back, I'm not going to pick the club straight up. You can see if I took my wrist and broke it down or closed the face, I see so many people with a closed face and chipping and pitching. Jack Nicklaus, or actually take it back, Tiger Woods was asked one time when I was at a tournament with Matt Kuchar playing a practice round, and they were asked who's the worst chipper on tour, or who was. Automatically, without looking up, Tiger Woods said Jack Nicklaus and Hal Sutton. And he said because both of them took it back and they kept the face down at the ground. From there, especially if it gets a little more upright, okay, if I was in here, I could have a little shut, but it got up. So they had a hard time. And Jack will even talk about it. He goes, he used to try to chip around bunkers or putt around bunkers because it got so bad for a while. It's interesting. I watched one of the old masters, and the announcer even said, Jack, he's improved his chipping. He feels a little more confidence in it. And of course, he barely got it on the green. But those are the things we want to look at. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the face of the club. We're going to let it swing a little bit around us to the toe of the club is up in the air. What does that do? That gives me loft. It gives me bounce so I don't dig. It allows me to slide the club under the ball. If I was looking at my airplane, my wings now are flat. Too many people keep it down like this. That's more, we'll talk about that in the full swing later on, because that is actually square. I want to have the face open. Okay, this is wide open. So anytime you have in the golf swing that your toe is up in the air, that club is wide open. And you're going to have to do a lot of manipulation to try to hit consistent golf shots. Okay, so let's just focus on the face for now. We're going to swing it back to toe up, and I don't want the club going straight back. Let it swing a little bit on an arc. And I have a little noodle here, and I use this training aid a lot. It's just fantastic. It's a swing arc by the Perfect Putter Company. You can see it's got an arch. Because the golf swing, we're standing to the side of the ball. It has to go inside to inside. So I stick this somewhere down there. You can put it in front or behind. But as I swing, and we'll cover this in the full swing, I'm going to trace back so you can see it's a little bit around. It's not going straight back, slightly inside to toe up. Okay? So what you're going to do now is take this club and practice going back to toe up 25 times a day. Okay? So once you do that 25 times, you can look at it as you're doing the beginning, because there is a little rotation. Most people don't rotate and they get the right hand still on top. My hands are both on the sides of the shaft here, up and down, wings level. And now what I'm going to do is, you could leave this on here. I'm going to come down. I'm going to go here, hold it, and then slowly just tap the tennis ball. You can see it went right straight into the net. Don't be afraid. Well, most people take the club back, and when I ask them to stop and come down and just tap the golf ball, we think we're trying to hit a driver, and they come down way too hard. I just want this to fall on the ball. So I can do 25 of these. Toe up, I'm good, to the ball. Great way to get you in there so you know you have the bounce and the loft on the club to hit higher, softer pitches. Okay, so I want 25 of these toe up every day. Okay, as I come down in the short game, I let the hands catch up so you can see I'm back to where I am. Too many people are trying to pull, hold, or lag the club, so you can see this would be straight at you. The wings are somewhat neutral, but if I pull, my wings and the club face are wide open, and then I'll have to do some crashing of my plane to try to hit it. If you do that in your full swing, you're going to have a tough time being repetitive day in, day out. We'll talk about that later of how to keep it quiet. But if I said to you, there's my toe up, bring my airplane wings or my club back to straight, and keep them straight. So if I was coming at you, you can see that airplane isn't crashing. My right hand almost feels like it's going underneath, tossing a ball up in the air. If you chip and you come in and you do anything like this or full swing, you can see that airplane's in trouble. So toe up, face up. And you can see the face of the club is in the air. My wings are still at a 45. I'm not going to let them crisscross. Always just feeling that. And that's a good way to practice too. Here's in front of me. And really I'm just going to use my right hand to bring the club up the plane. You can see my wings are still at a 45. My club face is still square. I'm not doing any twisting of the shaft, which really makes a short game very hard. So let's do 25 back and go to this position and hold it every day and just hit some pitches. You'll notice even from there, my left wrist breaks down. If you try to keep the handle, your wrist forward or the hands ahead, my wings and everything are pointed over there to the right. I'm going to have to do any forearm twist. If you have any questions or suggestions, please email me. Hopefully you have some idea now of how to chip it better and get the bounce in the loft to get the club up onto the green and give you a lot more success.